Ugh, that is absolutely disgusting. So welcome back to another video. This week we're going to be looking at the new car itself, sort of current condition, things we're going to be doing in future, processes and everything. We're also going to look at what state they've left it in, and the first things, the first jobs up on the list in terms of what we're doing with this. So we'll have a look at that. So you've joined me at a time that's bittersweet really. It's one of those where I've loved having the Range Rover, loved every minute of it. It's had its issues and a few hiccups and everything, but nothing that wasn't repairable. It's never left me stranded, anything like that. I've thoroughly enjoyed owning it, and the new owners just picked that up. So one thing that is really good is that car will continue to live on YouTube. So it's gone from my little niche channel here that we've sort of newly started in the last sort of 9 months to what is a big YouTube channel here in the UK. So it's actually going to Auto Alex for a lot of you people that will know him well from his car content with Car Throttle, and then obviously Auto Alex, and then his other channel as well. So he's been this afternoon, he's collected the car, he's actually filmed a video that will be going live this Friday as of filming, so it'll probably be live a week before this goes out actually, with current timelines and everything and release schedule for me. So yeah, that's super exciting really. He's done a quick collection video, been out driving around block and everything, had a quick chat over it. So that'll be going on Auto Alex V2. So if you want to see that car live on and see what anything that's going to be done with it in the future, those sort of things. He mentioned that he might be doing a few bits in terms of refitting Range Rover badges, stuff like that. And then we'll see where it goes from there. So that'll be nice to see that car live on. I can follow what has been my personal car, see it in a new light and in a way that you wouldn't usually, as you've sold a car, it goes and you never see it again. So it'll be a bit of a nice experience for me to see not only what he does with it, but also to see it live on, and that'll be super cool. So hopefully off the back of that, we'll have some new people coming over to this channel, subscribing, watching the content and enjoying the sort of things that we do. They can have a look at a bit of the life of the Range Rover before Alex bought it and see how it's been looked after and sort of the things while it's been in my care, regular videos and everything, and see what he's got himself in for. So they'll be able to see that, which is cool. If they want to see, sometimes new cars come onto big channels, you wonder where they've come from, what the previous life was, so that might be nice for people to see on Alex's channel. So in terms of what we're going to do this week then, we're going to have, obviously we've done last week's, is a bit of a collection video, quick walk around, talking around some of the features and specs and everything. We've not done any particular processes or anything like that with that. So what we're going to have a look at is condition. Interior wise this week, we'll have a look at what has and hasn't been done, what sort of state they've left it in, is it in a good condition. They haven't done a full valet on collection because I asked them not to, and that included cleaning it outside. Unfortunately, they didn't listen and they did it anyway. It is what it is. There's still some little bits that need attention. There's some sort of greasy hair marks, back at the seats, on windscreen where someone looks like they've been leaning into it. There's some bits of marks and staining on door and things that look like we'll be able to get them out. But overall, it's in really nice condition for age and mileage and everything, and it's been a used car. So what we'll do then is just give it a quick freshen up. We'll go over some super quick processes in terms of giving it a maintenance clean inside, and we'll just get it looking that bit fresher and cleaner, ready for me to use and enjoy. So here we are then, outside, just having a quick look. So in terms of what we're dealing with, marks we're going to try and remove today. So we've just got like this bit of staining here, which is quite visible to the eye, and obviously it sits quite close to me, sort of when you're looking at driver's side. It's not ideal. We'll try and remove that. There's a few scuffs and everything. We'll see if we can improve these. That'll be interesting to get out. In terms of, we're in a pretty good overall condition, so we're not worried about taking too big of scuffs out. Again, these probably are scuffs, but we'll see what we can do in sort of terms of taking those out and improving them. Interior wise, we're looking pretty good. This leather's a bit shiny in terms of it will benefit from a full clean and a condition, so we'll get to that. One thing I did sort of like in terms of, obviously it's leather all across here, but it has got this suede or Alcantara here, and it's an area commonly hit with the seatbelt and everything, so I think they've just done that to try and protect the leather a little bit, so that's a nice feature, although it's a different texture and a bit of a visual to the rest of it. It's not too bad. We've no scuffs or anything under here as such. It's generally in pretty good nick. There's a couple of marks up here just next to the steering column on the lighter bit. We'll see if we can get those out. Mats, again, pretty good. We'll give this a quick hoover, but until we get to a point where we can give these a deep clean and a good scrub with an APC and do a full extraction on them, that's how they look for now. So they are slightly lighter than you might expect with the colourway, but even still, nothing too detrimental. We can give these a quick clean, get some of that mud out from between those grooves that's not been removed, unfortunately. And we'll give that footrest a bit of a quick spruce up. In terms of the rest of the interior then, it's all pretty good condition. We'll give everything a quick clean. We'll make sure we keep up to it all. In terms of, unfortunately, with some of these modern glossy screens, I don't know why they're doing this, although they do look nice. The one in the Range Rover had like a matte finish on it and generally didn't suffer too much from fingerprints. It was more a dust build-up or something like that. But when you're looking at these Audi MMI screens, that's just a bit of use in the past week, not even that. And you can see it's not looking the best, so you'd have to keep up to that at least on a weekly basis really. You need to be keeping up to that sort of twice a week if you're not wanting to see those. If you're not too bothered, then it's not too bad. I'm not going to suffer from anything. Again, wheels in pretty good nick. Leather's a bit shiny, as you'd expect from a 6-year-old car, but nothing that won't be sorted by a quick leather clean and a condition. We'll bring that to more of a matte finish and an OEM. This centre airbag unit, it's quite a nice touch actually, decent finish to it. It's not too scratchy, not scratchy at all really. Plastic wise, it's quite soft touch. And you've got the usual 4 rings from the Audi logo. Headliner and everything we won't be touching as part of that. That's more of a detailed sort of process on its own, and generally, even though it is of a lighter sort of stone colour, there's nothing wrong with that, so it's pretty good. Might give interior glass a clean, so that'll include pan roof and all glasses inside. Just make sure I give them a once over. And that'll be it. Quick maintenance clean. I think I'll get this back to a nice standard, and then we'll look at some of those other detail processes at a later date in the future. We've also, now this screen's turned off and you've lost your camera, got some dirty finger squiggly marks. That's just from originally setting these up, so we shouldn't have a need for touching those now, so I'll give them a clean as well, and then they should stay in good condition. So here we are then, in the fruit or frunk, depending on what market you're in and what you call it in your area. So we've got washer fluid under there, aircon charge hoses. Obviously got top of your dampers exposed there, and the electrical connectors. You've got your high voltage system or part of it, designated by this orange stuff. And some other ancillaries, fuse boxes, things like that. So you've got your storage area. It is carpeted. It is a bit dirty. I don't know if they've had charging cables or something in here maybe. Your locking wheel nut is in here, and you get a little tile inflator and a bit of a toolkit. That's nice that you get it. Not that I would imagine many owners use this, but even still, we'll give this a little clean as part of interior clean. With it being carpeted, you can get this vacuumed. Not that it's super nice high pile or anything, but it is what it is. So like I mentioned, then we'll start off in this area. We'll just give this a quick vacuum out, and then we'll move on to the rest of it. So it's finished in front, quick vacuum. Obviously we've done the mats and everything, the little carpeted area in here. While I were here anyway, and I've got the bristle attachment on, what I've done is just whip round all the plastic surfaces from this cover, all the trims and everything you can see, fuse box, just top of these high voltage bits, and then all trims that go up and around as well. And all that does is just removes a lot of that dust and dirt and everything that's loose on the surface. So if you do that first, some of the contaminants and everything that are just lifted off the surface, and it makes it that bit easier for doing that next stage, which will be a contact wash with an APC. And you're just trying to make your life easy in doing that. So that's super quick process, a couple of minutes. Give it a vacuum, usually just improves it. Obviously I've tried to sort of split it as I've been going along, show you part way through what it looks like half an hour, 50-50 split and everything. and the difference that just a few minutes can make. Right, so that's it from a vacuuming perspective. Obviously we've been round, done all the front trunk, front boot, whatever you want to call it, fruit. We've done the rear here, done all in down centre console, mats, seats and everything, just to give them a once over and lift everything off surfaces. And then when we're going around doing further cleaning, just makes them processes a little bit easier. So going back to the old trusty, we're going with the Koch Chemie's Polestar. As you can see, I mixed at 20:1 hopefully, and we're going one of these little foam pumpers again. Absolute game changer in terms of if you're still spraying liquids around APCs and interiors, around plastics and electronic trims and everything, using these and going to one of these makes life so much easier, quicker, and these generally a lot more cost efficient. You want to make sure you got plenty on. This obviously would have been the first sort of clean inside, even though we're doing sort of a light clean, quite sort of what you would be akin to a maintenance clean, and we're not going real deep clean for the first one. We're just giving it a bit of a spruce up, bringing it back to somewhat what it should be like. We'll get plenty of APC on with it being the first one, make sure we're disinfecting everything and just getting some of these marks and stains out, whether it's finger marks, greasy fingers, something like that. There's an odd bit that's spurious around my front driver's door, not sure what it is. Hopefully we'll be able to get that out with just this combo and we'll go from there. Ugh, that is absolutely disgusting. So where somebody's obviously had the greasy head in this passenger seat, that APC has been super effective. I don't know if you can see how matted it is around there. That's all whatever's come off somebody's skin getting all stuck in this microfiber. That is absolutely disgusting. So there we have just basically given a quick, what will be akin to a maintenance clean. Some of the stuff, like that mark on that seat, I thought it was a mark on the leather or something. It turns out that is just somebody's dirty, sweaty head that has left marks all over, which is, like I say, absolutely disgusting. If it was my own skin and my own marks, I'd think it were awful. When you're cleaning somebody else's, you're going, where are my gloves? I want some gloves on. Yeah, nasty. You get this driver's seat, as they tend to be the worst and dirtiest things around in terms of high traffic area in your car. Obviously, the driver's seat gets used more than anything else. Without a driver, there's no one in the car generally, especially travelling, so it's nice to just give this a bit of extra focus and attention. Again, not much, we will do that as part of a dedicated process. Just make sure we're getting all these nooks and crannies and everything. Get this thing cleaned out. Make sure with the state of the other one, we give this headrest a real nice dedicated clean, just in case there was the common theme going on between driver and passenger. A load of dead skin and everything. Absolutely disgusting. Thankfully, driver's side seems to be in better condition, which is nice. All we're going to do for today's first clean is to have a look at these windows, how bad they are. We're just using a bit of deionised water in here. So we'll just give these a quick once over, make sure we're going in muck, any sort of surface contaminants off and everything. And then once we've given exterior a good go over and we've moved some of these external watermarks and we get a better idea of how the glass is, we'll go over it again. So I hope you've enjoyed the video this week. If you are new and you've come over from Alex's channel perhaps, make sure to subscribe for what will be now featured car on the YouTube channel in the E-Tron. Obviously with loads of past history on the Range Rover if you're looking for that sort of stuff, and that's why you've come here. So that, all that and more. Not only will we be discussing different techniques and methods for doing all sorts of different processes such as machine polishing and all that stuff, and general maintenance tasks in and around this car specifically. We'll also talk life as a Range Rover owner, switching not only to what is a smaller SUV as such, or a 4x4, but also going full electric from a big diesel. So we'll speak about that in the future. We'll be doing some comparisons, you know, I'll be giving honest open opinions like I always do. It's just a straight up, no affiliations, no reason to say one way or the other. So you'll always get honest opinion on this channel, whether it's about a product, whether it's about something I've done, whether it's a personal car I've owned, something like that. Whether I'll go to the trouble of ceramic coating again, it's one of those where once you've gone through all the various prep stages required to get to a machine polish state, it was like a no-brainer last time. Like, oh, it makes complete sense. But then I almost sort of fell out with it a bit after that, because it was like, oh, well, I don't want to put a spray sealant on now. Oh, I don't want to try this wax. Oh, I don't want to do that because you're masking the properties of your ceramic coating. But I think ultimately I just got past that and started using the products again and featured some of those on the channel, because that's always there as a base layer. It's not going anywhere. It's quite hard, durable in terms of how long it's sticking around for. And then the ones on top, you know, they'll just fade away with time, as they tend to, but you've always got that base level of protection there. So if you haven't liked the video already, do so. That really helps the channel out. That'd be much appreciated in terms of pushing it out there. It's good for algorithm. Make sure you comment down below, what are your thoughts? If you're an existing viewer and you've had a guess in the last couple of weeks in terms of, did you think I were going down this route? I obviously mentioned there were a bit of a change of pace coming maybe, so that's nice to see. That engagement always helps as well. So comment down below, what do you think of it? What do you want to see? Obviously we've got a bit of a blank canvas. It's all fresh, all processes that have previously been done on Range Rover, whether it were documented or not, are available and free to do again. If you've got a preference, let me know. I'll try and get some of that stuff out earlier than I might do otherwise. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.